that's another reason why we have done this before now too, because we're usually walking or something like that at 7.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. There's Jim. There's
she
Jim
takes-
and Connor.
Hello.
You need to pick them. Yeah.
Oh, there they are.
Hey.
I see you. I see you all. Hi, Jeannie. Oh my God, forever. There you are. It's Octavia. Hi, Octavia. Stephanie, what you been up to? I've been helping my parents so much. I haven't been able to participate.
I know.
I wanted to.
And
In fact, I have to go get medicine right now.
Yeah,
I'll be back.
Yeah, she's gonna
okay.
take care of her parents. So y'all go right ahead. We're just, well, what's the protocol, or what do you need us to do? Just what?
Well, Jimmy,
Monkey see, monkey do,
Okay.
to a larger degree.
yeah. You know, it's tonight it's arm styling class, Jimmy, which is great for ladies who don't have a partner, but it's also great for men who don't have a partner at the moment either. Because
Well, we both got a partner here.
well, I thought she was going to get medicine.
Oh, can I come back for a second?
Okay, well, hang on to your partner. It's good for everybody.
Huh?
I said, it's hang on to your partner then, Jimmy. It's good for everybody. It's
Okay.
styling for men and women.
Okay, very good, very good.
It's
Well,
good to see y'all. I didn't even speak to Jim. Hi, Jim.
Virtual hug.
Gail's giving everybody a hug. Hey, Gail. Oh, that's styling. You ready?
Hey.
Oh.
How are y'all?
Hey, Shirley. How you doing?
I'm good.
Oh, I'm so glad. Good.
Good, good. I kind of ventured out last week and I missed, I went Wednesday thinking that was the only day, and then something came up Thursday, and then my sister and brother-in-law had a 61 anniversary on Friday, and there were 8 of us that got together for dinner at her house. So
And you're not dead yet.
Did y'all sit 6 feet apart?
what?
Did y'all
No,
sit-
pretty much, but who cares? I'm about sick of all this stuff.
I cracked last night. I finally lost it.
They hadn't proved anything yet, so you know. But anyway, so I'm on mute so y'all can talk.
Don't mute. We'll get started though.
All right. So the first thing about arm styling is arms are generally a way to amplify what the body is doing. So we make things bigger and more expressive with the arms. Today we're talking about smooth dancing, foxtrot, waltz primarily, as opposed to Latin. We did Latin last week, smooth the week before. But anyway, the main thing with smooth is circles. Circles. You've heard of circles, yes, okay. All right, so one of the circle that makes the most sense is circles in the horizontal plane around us. So this is generally when the body is rotating. And when we dance waltz, we rotate a lot. Another circle we have is in this plane. So a lot of times when we do this one, it's part of the circle. And this one follows our swinging movements. Okay? And then we have circles, again vertical, but in front of us. This is kind of our sway circles. So sway is when the body tips, akin to riding a bicycle, an airplane. in dance, we generally dance the lower body out from under the shoulders. So you see the arms can amplify that movement. So,
One thing I want to interject, we've talked about the circles, and I don't know if we've talked about this in smooth, but one of the common concepts in smooth styling for men and for women is to dance the elbows. We talk about dancing the elbows. So it's almost like by drawing your elbows out, you're creating the outer boundary of your circle, whether it's this way or up that way. Got a circle, kind of like ballet or like this. But if we make it a little more interesting, instead of just saying dancing the elbows, we could talk about dancing between the elbows, because it's not just elbow somebody here and elbow somebody there. We're actually moving the body first in this circle, and that sort of pushes our circle out to amplify our body's movement. So if you think of dancing between the elbows, it can give you more beautiful movement.
so you see our movement relates to the circles that we're dancing. So what she's talking about is, I often wouldn't be just standing here doing this. Oftentimes I'd be stepping into the circle, and it would be like between the elbows. Okay, so we talked about things that help rotation last time. We're going to go a little bit beyond that, and this is a real good styling tip, because sometimes when we try to turn, we turn our upper bodies a lot at the beginning of the turn. So when we get to the end of the turn, our body is here. And we have no place to style to. I'll get a little bit further over this way. So if I turn my body too much at the beginning, I land at the end of my rope. So we're going to talk a little bit about dancing the positive side. So right now I'm flat. Neither my right or left side is positive. If I take my left side forward, I have now what we call dancing left side positive. Or I can dance right side positive. And we do this a lot in waltz anyway. I probably wouldn't dance straight at you. I would probably either dance my right side towards you or my left side toward you as I go down the floor. So the same thing with a turn. If I'm going to do a 3-step turn, let me show you the feet work for a 3-step turn. Obviously, we take 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. So that's one possible footwork, or I could chaîner it, which would be taking the second step with the feet together, and then the third step. Either way, I'm taking 3 steps. With my feet apart, you can see this. You can see the steps more easily. 1, 2, and then 3. So that's the footwork for a 3-step turn. Or, like I said, if I want to turn faster, I can bring the feet together. Now, if I apply a left side positive to this and keep my left side more forward of my right side all the way through this, I arrive here. Then I have some place to style to. Does that make sense? Like I said, if I have my upper body turned too much, I can't do any styling at the end because I'm already at the extreme end of my rope. I'll do that a little bit closer so you can see the positiveness. So flat, left side positive. You can see I'm still left side positive. Might be harder to see here. At this point, you can still see that I'm left side positive, and I'm left side positive here. I'll move back in front of the screen. And now I have some place to develop and continue and my styling and amplify my movement. So this is the horizontal circle in particular we're talking about at this point. So, and let's just back up to that for a moment. In my horizontal plane, I'm styling primarily by rotating my circle in the horizontal plane. I can make my circle bigger by expanding the arms out to the maximum point of all the way extended. Sometimes we'll go from maximum a little bit in to give it a softer look. While we're on that, ladies, we talked about the hand. If I were to hold on to something, it's like this mouse. I'm going to hold it with my middle finger and my thumb, and all my other fingers are going to be stretched out away from that finger. Do this one in front of the camera better. Now, guys don't necessarily do this. Guys would be more like making a sock puppet. Not touching, we have a little space in between and not all crimped up. So we still elongated. So the guys kind of make a little bit of a C with their hand. The ladies hold that middle finger in that position and pull the others up a little bit. So we get more finger articulation. Yeah, if you pull this back, you can do a dog shadow thing on the wall. So you don't want the dog. You want, well, you don't want a pug. You want more like a schnauzer, elongated nose. Okay, so that's one of the differences between the men and the ladies. And some guys will actually like make fists instead. But this is a little bit more, you know, if you accidentally spin around and hit someone with this, not so bad. If you opt for the fist and swing around and hit somebody, it might do more damage. Okay, so ladies have daintier hands, and the gentlemen have a little bit more of a masculine look. You'll see me dancing probably more as often with dainty hands as anything else because I'm so used to demonstrating for ladies. Anyway, so that's the difference with the hands. Now, we're going to, at the end of this, we're going to add another, you can rotate your circle horizontally. Now, anything in this plane is horizontal, even if it goes down lower or goes up higher. So I don't want to cover up one hand with the other. So more often than not, I'm going to take my farther hand and elevate it as I hit this ending pose. Yes?
Mm-hmm. You're going to extend your line.
So again, my three-step turn. I'm going to have my left side positive when I go turning to my left. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to go neutral. Then I'm going to take it to the other side. So now the beauty about this is if I wanted to turn the other way, I'm already right side positive. To do a turn back the other way, and then I can go through neutral to extend my line in that direction. Yes? All right. Now, we have our sway line, which is in this plane. Now what you'll notice is, as I hit this line here, as I raise this hand, I'm also swaying into it. So we're getting this gives us, this combines two of our circles. So we've got our horizontal circle and we've got our sway circle. And we can take these circles and mix them together to get even more interesting shapes. Looks like a Pac-Man. And this Pac-Man. Okay, anything you want to add?
Yeah, at the end of these turns, these 3-step turns, not only is there a shift from, say, left side positive to right side positive, but it corresponds with the upper body movement kind of ends just after the lower body movement gets complete, after your weight gets settled on your left foot. So the idea is to continue these lines, never-ending lines, to continue these lines out as far as you can, just as you start to shift back to the other side. So it's not arrive at the same point. There's sort of a blending here.
Right. The idea of the never-ending line is to try to avoid karate dancing. So I don't want to spin into the end of this and go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and just hit the end of it and have time there to stand. So I want to, like, for lack of a better term, I want to dance as drunk. I want to kind of slur the endings. Or like a 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So you want to try to stretch out. If you stretch out your words, you'll tend to stretch out your movement as well.
The arm styling gets started just a little bit late. It doesn't immediately start on 1. It starts closer to, like in waltz, on 2. So if the styling finishes up just after you've taken your step and you're about to start again on 1, it'll time out correctly. It's shifted just a tiny bit from the footwork.
Another example of a never-ending line is, let's say I was doing a twinkle and I had my arm free. I'll do this at you, then away, so you can see it quickly. So I've got my right arm free. So my twinkle is going to go diagonally across your screen. Then I'm going to change direction and go off in this direction. So what you'll see is my arm is not completely extended. Now I'm starting to go this way, and the arm finishes. Try to do this a little closer to the screen. So on the beats, 1, 2, and I'm leaving, 3. A little bit further away. 1, 2. So I've like 3/4 of the way extended the arm. Now I'm changing direction to head towards step 3, and I finish the arm as I'm leaving. Gives you very soft arm movements. And like Connor said, the arms are often delayed from the body action. So I'm already leaving when I finish the arm.
It's almost like as you finish the arm, you're leaving your arm where it is. Like maybe you're trying to hit this, come here, Jim. Maybe you're trying to reach down. It's gotten to its, I've reached as far as I'm gonna go, and now by pulling away, I'm gonna fully stretch it out.
Yeah, so it makes some very nice lines, and it avoids the karate chop thing again. So if we finish our arms too soon, our arms tend to stop dancing, which is there are moments in dance where we stop, but most of the time we keep moving when we dance. I'm gonna go into Latin for just a second. If we were talking about Latin motion and rumba, my feet will stop. So my feet stop, but when I'm dancing Latin, my body virtually never stops moving. So it's kind of the same thing with arms. The arms kind of never stop moving. If I go too fast, I get stop actions that don't look as good.
Except maybe in tango.
Except maybe in tango. Tango is in the smooth category, but tango's a little different. It's got its own little idiosyncrasies. So I wanted to talk about positive side turning and kind of get that going and how we can extend that. A place where you might use it. Now I'm gonna show it with just Connor turning at first. So let's say maybe I dance Connor out to a side-by-side position. Now I'm gonna dance her over to the other side of me. So she's doing her 3-step turn back and forth across in front of me. Now, we can both do a 3-step turn. I will drop back and I will do my 3-step turn behind her. And she'll do her 3-step turn in front of me. So in addition, yes, crisscross. The guy is almost always in the back for this kind of thing. And I'm going to do this from a different viewpoint. When I send a lady out to a side-by-side position, I'm going to leave her slightly forward of me. If you look at it from the front, it'll appear that we're in the same line. And we could be, but if I want to do something like this turn, I would have to step farther off the line and come back up. So she'd get to go straight across, and I'd have to do this. I'd have to bend mine. Or I can be slightly behind her to start with, and I can go in a straighter line. It's a little bit easier. But and she's already in front of me anyway. So she's already in front of me. I might as well leave her there. So besides, there you go. Turn at the same time. 1, 2. So right now you're turning left, Jimmy. Left, yeah, turning left. 1, 2, 3. This time you'll turn right. 1, 2, 3. There you go. So you have to kind of practice that a little bit with a partner to avoid collisions and minimize collisions and figure out what your path is and how you're not going to. Now, you can't exactly dance your arms straight out in front of you like we did for the exercise. You will have to tuck things in closer together or take things down into what I call, teacup arms. Or you could take the arms over the head. Or one of my new favorites is to have one in front but close and the other behind. Because this gives you a lot of space to develop your arms at the end. I'll do that one across in front of the screen just a little bit. So still got my left side positive, but I can bring my arm in closer to the body. Let me show you here. So left side positive, but my arm doesn't have to be here because the side is your whole left side. It's not your hand. I can have that closer to the body, and the other arm I can put behind me. So now when I get to that end point, I have a lot of room to develop an arm. So I'll do that one across the screen from the viewpoint we're used to. So this was my arm extended in front. Here is closer to me. I've got my other arm behind me. Now you can see how much I can develop the arms at the end. Because that one coming from behind has got a long way to go.
That's a really good point, because if you're already fully expanded out there as you're moving through these turns, you've already reached your maximum. You cannot put your exclamation point at the beginning, at the end. So if you stay tighter, closer to the body as you're moving through these turns, you can come up with something really big at the end. Explosion. It works as an exclamation point if you go from small to big.
Okay, do the promenade in partner. You were talking about in promenade, you could do the arms up.
The twinkle?
Twinkle, I'm sorry, twinkle.
Twinkle. Mhm.
Twinkle, yeah. Let us see that as a partner.
So a place where I wouldn't have, normally I've got my hand on the lady's back here for a twinkle, and normally she's got her hand on my shoulder. That's normal. So we don't normally have the hand free. And most of you probably know this pattern in bronze. It's called a triple twinkle. Yes? Familiar with that? Okay. I'm going to modify it, and this is going to be called more specifically, that's a closed position triple twinkle. We're going to make it into an open triple twinkle. This will give you a free arm. Now the lady's part is identical. The guy who doesn't turn around normally will turn also. So now we're both turning. This gives us that free arm to come back together. So something we could do, we can open out here. And stay open. Or we may have been doing something from an open position and have the arms in closer. If we do, this is where we would extend and do the never-ending line. Ladies often have more opportunities to do this. Maybe she was coming from an open twinkle here. wall. The cursor does really funny things when you got the mouse upside down. Looks like we had about 10 minutes left. Are there any questions so far?
Hey, Jim, could you do those moves again with your back to us? Because when I'm looking at it, I have to think about it from a different angle, right?
Okay, I'll do the, let me look at my broom view here. Okay. I'll set up the rift turn. From Jimmy's viewpoint. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Rift turn. Rift turn.
Stop her.
Get away from me. Okay, so I'm gonna do one less and try and dance this back together. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. Now, if I don't go to her side and I dance her forward, we can come back together and twinkle out of it. That'll give you an exit for it. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to change the styling on the open triple twinkle to where we have to extend our arm back out. We're going to do an over the head styling.
This is I've got it on mute. It may not be going.
Oh, ours is on mute. Yeah.
So
Okay.
we're going to do an open part here, and we're going to take our arms up and over as we do this next twinkle. 1, 2, 3. So now we're ending that part with the arms close to the body. Now we have to extend them to reconnect. I'll do this from a couple different angles. So it's a little closer, just the screen. Someday we'll get high tech enough that the screen will follow me and keep me in full view. So here's my twinkle. Now I'm going to release her. We're going to go up and over, come back to you, and reconnect. Yes?
Yeah, that's good. We have a tendency, at least I do, we have a tendency to go back to your shoulder too quick. So that's why we need to avoid, and that's what Connor's doing. She's staying out and up as you make other movements. Yeah.
We call it the drowning look.
It's called the security hole.
It's called a long time ago. Not Eddie Murphy. Richard Pryor did a skit where he's got a pool, but he can't swim. He got it for his kids. He said he'd get in the shallow end, splash around a little bit. But one time he stepped off in the wrong end, and all he could think of was edge. Get me to the edge. So especially if you alter your body shape to try to reach for your partner, it looks very insecure. So we're going to try and slow motion this.
All right.
So Connor's going to step. I'm going to extend my arm. She's not going to grab me here. We're going to already be heading back the other way before she puts her arm on my shoulder. Shows a much greater degree of confidence. It makes us softer, prettier reconnection.
I will
Then-
say, Shirley, to me, the image in my mind is that I'm still reaching for something, but I'm just trying not to reach for Jim's shoulder. I'm reaching out there for this thing that I want. Give me that.
She's reaching beyond me.
Yeah, just sort of shooting left side positive past him.
It's like when I come home with chocolate and she reaches in. I think she's reaching to hug me, and she's really reaching for the chocolate.
The other thing I think of reaching for is like reaching for a light bulb up there.
Yeah.
Something like that. I reach for lots of things in this movie. I'm short.
Yeah, so to show that just a little bit more, we're going to take it a slightly different angle, and you will see Connor's arm reach past my arm and shoulder. So it's a little closer because we overshot way up against the door. Okay. So you can see that she has reached, here's my shoulder, and you see where her hand is. Yes?
Yeah.
Is
I don't know.
this happen?
Yes. I don't know if I read it or an instructor said it or what. It said that if the woman's moving, she needs to keep moving and the guy catches up to her instead of us trying to catch up to him. And that helps with that sway that you're getting, you know? Is that right?
Yeah, it's when we release each other, we don't want to stop and reconnect.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like a relay race.
And that keeps the flow.
So sometimes when the lady's ahead, she'll stall waiting for the man to catch her. And sometimes the guys will do that too. So if Connor, twinkle and just head for the door. If she takes off, I will catch her. And if I go, she will catch me. Lovely, dear.
It's almost like the arms, if you're turning and he's holding on to you, it's almost like you're flying a kite or something. There's a little bit of tone in there, and he's kind of pulling you, and you're kind of pulling him. Not pulling, but there's tone and there's connection there. So you got to keep moving to keep that tone in the arm.
Okay.
Does everybody remember the spirograph?
Yeah.
If you take one of those round things and you go around inside the big circle thing, you just make circles. But if you take one of those round things and take it down that ruler with the teeth, you know, even though your pencil's making circles, you're getting loop-de-loops. So this happens when we're leading a turn and moving, because even though I'm making a circle with my hand, that circle is making loops down the floor. So you have to keep moving with it. This particular to smooth. A lot of times in rhythm dances, rumba, cha-cha, we do our turns right here in place. But in your traveling dances, the turns have to keep moving, so you have to keep trying to catch up with your partner.
Yeah.
We're probably going to lose each other in just a few seconds, but any last questions?
No, I was going to tell you, at school they had a, I don't know what the device was, that you put your iPad on and it did follow you. The camera followed you wherever you were in the room. But I don't know what the piece of equipment was called, like you were talking about.
Yeah, I've seen them for phones and iPads.
Yeah.
You have something on you, and then the tripod is
Follows you.
mechanized, and it points toward the device that you put in your pocket or somewhere on your person.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Fancy. We're not that fancy.
Oh,
All right. Enjoyed having y'all.
okay.
Hopefully we'll be back